Hello everyone! I already shown you Magnus Carlsen's win over Fabiano Caruana in the 8th round of the Isle of Man international tournament, so it would only be fair to show you this brilliant game played by Hikaru Nakamura against the Israeli Grandmaster Emil Sutovsky. The game is, well, I really enjoyed it. I hope you will enjoy it as well. So Nakamura is white and he plays d4. We have d5, c4 and d captures on c4, Queen's Gambit accepted. Nakamura goes for e4, knight to f6, attacking the e4 pawn, and e5 is played. Knight to d5, and the bishop captures on c4, grabbing the pawn back. Bishop to f5, we have knight to e2, and now e6, and Nakamura castles. Knight to b6, attacking the bishop on c4, we have bishop to b3, and now c5. We have bishop to e3, Nakamura develops a piece, and well, here Sutovsky plays c4, and well, his king is still in the center of the board. He requires 2 more moves to castle, so Nakamura goes for the challenge. He plays bishop captures on c4, and this wasn't a bad idea by Emil Sutovsky, but he missed one move that Nakamura found. We have knight captures on c4, and now queen to a4 check. Attacking the knight on c4, knight to d7 defending, and now queen captures on c4. We have rook to c8 with an attack on the queen, queen back to a4, now again pinning the knight, and this is Sutovsky's idea. He plays bishop to c2 now, attacking the queen. Although bishop to e7 might have been a better move, as well, even given up this a7 pawn, he should definitely castle here. But he played bishop to c2, now with an attack on the queen, and Nakamura again accepts the challenge. He grabs the pawn. Queen captures on a7. And well, this is the idea. He plays bishop to d3, now attacking this knight. The knight is pinned, of course, if he moves. Bishop captures rook on f1. Nakamura goes knight b to c3, and now bishop to a6. And now Nakamura's queen is trapped, as the knight is covering b6 and also c5. But this is the idea Nakamura had. He plays d5. And Emil captures the pawn on e5, knight captures on e5, and now rook f to d1. Now, with an X-ray attack on this queen on d8. Knight to d3 is played to block the rook, and now Nakamura plays d captures on e6. And this is very unpleasant for black. Black can't capture this pawn with f captures on e6. If f captures on e6, you get knight to f4. Now this knight is attacking this pawn on e6, this knight on d3 is attacked twice, and well, black still has to castle. For example, bishop to e7, and now knight captures on d3. Bishop captures on d3, and queen to a4 check. And you can't block the check with the queen. If you block the check with the queen, simply queen captures queen, and then you lose this bishop on d3. Probably a move that could be played is something like king to f7, but this is again very unpleasant for black. And a very interesting line is rook to c6. Now the king can still castle, but now Nakamura has rook to d2, preparing to double up on this bishop. So after black castle, simply queen to d1. Now with an attack on this bishop here, and you have to defend it. Rook to d6, and now bishop to c5, and you can't really move the rook because white will capture the bishop on e7 and then win the piece here. But if something like bishop to c2, then rook captures on d6. Bishop captures on d6 and queen captures on d6, again winning a piece. So after d captures on e6 by Nakamura, Sutovsky played bishop to d6, giving up one pawn, for some play. Nakamura plays e captures on f7 with check. King captures on f7, and we have queen to d4. Now, the queen is very nicely placed here. Also, this knight is attacked twice, and Emil still has to castle. So rook to e8, preparing to castle artificially, and Nakamura goes queen to d5 check. Of course, not allowing the king to go to g8. And notice that Nakamura can't win the knight here by rook capture. I mean, 2 pieces for the rook with rook captures on d3, because after bishop captures on d3, queen captures, you have this very unpleasant bishop captures on h2 check. After king captures, you lose the queen on d3. So after rook to e8, of course, Nakamura found another way to grab the piece. He plays queen to d5 with check. King to f8 is played, and now queen to f5 check. And now, well, if you block this with the queen, that's really not very good. You lose the pawn on h7, and then the black king is completely bare. So king to g8 is played, and now we have a bishop to g5, kicking the queen away from the d file. Queen to c7 is played, and we have queen to d5 now with check, and now this knight can be captured. So king to h8 is played, and now Nakamura plays rook captures on d3. Bishop captures on h2, well, grabbing that pawn, but it doesn't do black much good. King to h1 is played, and now bishop to c4, now attacking this queen. Queen to d7 is played, the queen cannot be captured as, well, white is up a piece. h6 is played, and here Nakamura plays a very calm move. He plays g3, and now this bishop on h2 is trapped. Sutovsky plays h captures on g5, and we have queen captures on c7, rook captures on c7, and now rook to d2, not allowing this bishop to capture it. And also now this knight is defended twice with the rook and with the knight. The bishop on h2 is still trapped. Rook to f7, a final try, going for that f2 pawn, but Nakamura just plays knight to d4, and in this position Emil Sutovsky resigned the game. This is move 31. So a very nice showing by Hikaru Nakamura. The rook is now protecting this f2 pawn, the bishop is still trapped, so no point in continuing this torture. White is completely winning here. So yeah, that's the game. After 8 rounds, Hikaru Nakamura has clear second place with 6.5 points. Tomorrow he will face world champion Magnus Carlsen, and they will decide the fate of the tournament and who will be the king of the island. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon.